Hello, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Monday, the 11th of April 2022. What's a Sudokan, I hear you ask? Well, now that you've shown an interest in learning Sudoku, it's you. Welcome to this channel where we play Sudoku daily at all levels from beginner to advanced. And you have joined us. That means you are at least curious, mildly curious about playing the game of Sudoku, and why shouldn't you be? It's a lovely game. It has lots of interesting things about it, and it's just a fun thing to do, right? And usually Monday is a easy level game in the Guardian, and today is no exception. And I call it beginner level and try to teach you the basics of the game if you've never played before. Now, if you have played once or twice before, or you've played before but not really understood how to play, I hope you will learn a bit from this video. But it's not just called Sudoku channel, it's Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle, which is about chat and whatever I feel like talking about. Since it's my channel, I can talk about anything I like. And today I'd like to mention the poor people of France who are faced with the choice in an upcoming election between right wing and extreme right wing. It's so depressing. Of course, America permanently has right wing or extreme right wing, but to see this kind of stuff being spread around everywhere, it's very depressing. France has had this situation for quite some time, of course, but please keep out the fascists and the extremists, whatever you do. Unfortunately, democracy has come down to this thing of, the lesser evil. That's all we can ever really hope to achieve, I think, which is a shame. But anyway, that seems to be how the situation is. So please choose the lesser of your two evils when voting. Okay, let's get on with our game of Sudoku now. If you have never seen a Sudoku grid before, I'd be most surprised. But anyway, if you may not have, excuse me. So you'll notice that there are squares across, which we refer to as rows. 9 squares in each of these rows. Excuse me, I've just had breakfast, which was very spicy. Here in Thailand, we have curry for breakfast quite often, and I've had panak, which is a kind of southern type curry. Southern Thailand, I mean. Similar to Indian curry. It's not exactly the same, but similar, has some elements of it. Right, enough of the breakfast talk, more with the Sudoku talk, otherwise I'll confuse you. Columns down, 9 squares in each column, okay, and then we have these mini grids of 9 squares here, 9 of them, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay, and these also contain 9 squares. Now, if you look in this grid, you'll see 6, 3, 5, 8, 9. These are unique numbers within that grid. Because there are only 9 squares, we can fit the numbers 1 to 9 within those squares. And the same thing for the rows. Here we have 2, 3, 5, and 6. And the same thing for these columns. Here we have 4, 5, and 2 already. So we're looking for 1, and 3, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9 to fill up these 6 empty squares that we have here. Okay, so that's it. Now, if you understand that each number can appear once only in its row, column, or block, then that's how we go about solving the game. We use logic. Don't worry if you failed maths at school or you have always hated maths. This game has nothing to do with maths. The only thing is that in regular standard Sudoku, we generally count from 1 to 9. But if you can't count from 1 to 9, you can play Sudoku with other things. There's a Fudoku channel on this video on this somewhere in this on this channel where I play Sudoku with food items, mushrooms and carrots. I've forgotten, that was a long time ago, but just to prove that it's nothing to do with numbers. Okay, so let's go about finding the number then. So let's come back to this block that I highlighted here. Now we have 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9 already. Do we have digit 1? No, not yet. So that means that we need it, right? So let's look across here. Do we find any kind of number 1s? That sounds a bit odd, doesn't it, if you're into toilet humor? There are no number 1s across here. How about up here? How about the columns that intersect this? Oh yeah, look, there's one up here. So that means that 1 cannot appear in this square, in this block, because it's already in this column, and it blocks any other 1 from this column. Okay, now let's take this one here and say that it blocks down here as well. Right, so this one blocks all of this column and this one blocks all of this column. Now this number here and this number here are already filled in. We already have an 8 and a 9 here. So obviously we can't put more than one number in the square. We can't squeeze a 1 in. We can't have an 8 and a 1 in the same square. So guess what? There's only one empty square. And because there is only one possible place where a 1 can go, we know that the 1 must fit in there. These games have a unique solution. And if you find a single square where the number can go, you know that that is the answer. Now I'm going to do the same kind of thing up here, and this time I want you to look for digit 5. We're going to consider digit 5. So we need to look across, and we need to look, well, we can't look up, I would say up and down, but of course we can't look up, there's nothing above this, but we need to look down and look for digit 5s. Have you seen any yet? You have? Well done. Right, so this 5 here blocks across this row here, doesn't it? It also blocks back this way, but I'm not interested in looking this way. I'm only looking across this way here now. Now down here you'll see a 5, and that blocks up here. And now you see a 5, and that blocks up here. And guess what? We're back to one single white square again. So we know that our 5 has to fit there. Right, now you know how to play the game. So let's just continue along. I'll give you a chance to look for some of these numbers. Now, we are looking in this case, in this block here, we're going to examine digit 2. Look all around for intersecting 2s. That means the rows and the columns, right? Since we're looking inside this block. Right, here we go then. This 2 blocks down here, this 2 blocks down here, and this 2 blocks across here. One white square, put the 2 there quickly before it runs away. Again, we're going to look for 2s in this central block here. Have a look, see what you can see. I think you're ahead of me, aren't you? Okay, you've got the idea now. 2 blocks across here, 2 blocks across here, and 2 blocks down here. And so 2 is there. Right, it's a fun game, isn't it? 2 blocks down here, 2 blocks across here. There's just one white square, 2 goes there. Now, one thing to remember about playing Sudoku is if you have 8 of a digit already, if you have one digit in every one of the blocks except for one block, you have one block remaining, you can always find that missing number. So what do I mean? Look, here we have a 2, 2. So this block has 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So this is the only block that doesn't yet have a 2. And I know for sure that we can find a 2 in here because we have 2s in every other block. That's always the case. It's a golden rule in Sudoku. So let's say there's 2 blocks across here, this 2 blocks across here, this 2 blocks up here, and this 2 blocks up here, one white square. That's finished. Now we have 2s in every block. We don't have any more 2s to think about, so we can disregard that number. We don't have to think about it anymore. It can be retired. It can go away gracefully. Right, and now we've put that 2 in, we've done ourselves a favor because we've restricted, we've made fewer options available up here. So when we examine the 5s blocking across here and the 5 blocking across here and the 5 up here, we now see that there's only one space where the 5 can go. Now, again, let's see, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, so in every block. We haven't got one here yet in this central block, so let's examine 5 down, 5 up, 5 across here, and 5 across, 5 across here. So we know that a 5 fits here. 5 here, 5 here. So now look, we've got 5s in every block except for this block down here. This is the only block that's lacking a 5. Everywhere else has a 5. Okay, so we know we can find it because I just told you that's a golden rule. 5 blocks down here, 5 blocks down here, 5 across here, and 5 across here, and the final 5, like the final countdown, goes there. So now we have 2 and 5 completed. We don't have to worry about digit 2 or digit 5. We have 7 other numbers to be concerned with. Right, now let's look in a slightly different way. This column down here needs numbers 1 to 9, right? So we've been looking at blocks, but now we're going to look at the column down here. So we need numbers 1 to 9. Now, so far we have 2, 4, 3, 7, 8, and 5. So you will agree that in these empty squares, we need to place the 3 missing numbers. And we're going to start with the 1 because we don't have a 1 yet. There's no 1 here. Now think about this. Each digit is only possible one time within its block, right? So because we have a 1 here already, this square, and this square are forbidden to be a 1. Now we're not really concerned about this, but we can say that these 2 squares are blocked by this 1 here. And so because we need a 1 for this column, and we know that 1 is not allowed here or here, we know that 1 must be in this square just here. Now, actually, when we look at this column, right, we're going to find that the missing numbers here are 6 and 9. Let's double check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 6, so we know that 6 is either here or here. 7, 8, and there's no 9, so we know that 9 is either here or here. So we know that these 2 squares must contain 6 or 9, right? We know it because that's what we need to complete this column. And now that we know that, now we can't tell which is which, right? We don't know which one is 6 and we don't know which one is 9 at this stage. We have to wait until a later time. But what we can say is, because we know that these 2 contain 6 and 9, we can find this missing number here. So we do it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is in one of these 2 squares. Do we have a 7? No. Do we have 8? Yes. Do we have 9? Yes, because it's in here. So we know that that has to be a 7. Okay, so this is how we, get through the game bit by bit. Right, what comes next? Okay, so down here we've got a 6 blocking across this row and another 6 blocking across this row. So our 6 fits here. Have you played the game yet, by the way? Don't forget, this is, don't just watch these videos. You should really be practical about it as well. Now, I want to show you something which looks a little bit advanced. I want to show you something, but actually I don't need to make it so difficult, but I will show you anyway. Look, when we know that a 6 blocks across here, we know that 6 has to be in one of these squares along here, right? Actually, we can place it, but I just don't want you to think about that at the moment. I just want you to notice that when you block across here, because every other square is filled outside of this row, we know that 6 is going to appear here. Now, because we know that 6 will be in one of these 3 squares, it's going to block across here, right? So neither this square nor this square could be 6. Now we have 6 blocking across here. We have a 6 blocking up here. So again, we have just one empty square. So I can put 6 there. Now I didn't need to make it that complicated because in fact, we have 6 blocking like this. So in fact, we can place the 6 here anyway. But that kind of situation happens often. So I wanted to show you how we think about things, a kind of forward thinking, if you like. Imagining one or 2 moves ahead, rather like chess. If you play chess, you don't want to be thinking about just the next move. You need to think 2 or 3 moves ahead at a minimum. And when you play Sudoku, you often have to be kind of considering a what if situation. What if this is this? What if happened? What if this? What if? Okay. Right. Let's get back and consider more of the board. And I hope you're not bored, by the way. We haven't done enough to be bored yet. If you're bored at this stage, you're probably never going to play Sudoku. Right, okay. There is a 9 blocking across here. There is a 9 blocking across this row. So there is only one white square available to us. We should investigate what numbers are missing here, see if we can get them or not. We might be able to. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. But let's see. 1, 2, 3. Any 4s? No, so one of those numbers has to be a 4. 5, 6. Any 7s in this row? No. We've got 8 and 9 here. So we know that these two missing numbers are 4 and 7. Now, if we look down here to find any 4s and 7s, we're out of luck. So we don't know. But what we do know is, if this is 4 and 7, we can calculate what goes in here. We know this is 4 and 7, so these two must be the two remaining numbers. So we've got 1, 2, any 3? No, so we know 3 is one of those numbers. 4, well, that's going to be here. 5, 6, well, 7, that's going to be here. And the last number is 8. So we know that this has to be 3 or 8 in these two squares. Now, when we look for 3s or 8s down here, we're going to discover something. We discover this 3. So this 3 blocks up here. So we immediately know that 3 is in that square there, and the 8 is in that square there. Now we'll take this 8 blocking down here, 8 blocking up here, 8 blocking across here, and 8 fits there. Oh, isn't it feeling good now? You're starting to get these numbers in place. It's, you know, filling out, rather like if you were playing a traditional jigsaw, we can now just make out some of the shapes and pictures. You haven't got all of the details yet, but you can, it's coming together, and you can kind of get a shape, get the shape of it, and, you know, you feel you have fewer pieces to pick up now, and so it's, you know, it's coming along. I hope. Although I must admit, I'm not a traditional jigsaw player, but anyway, not since I was a kid anyway, which is a very long time ago. Now we have a 3 blocking up this column, 3 blocking down here, and a 3 blocking across here. So one available slot. By the way, we often call these squares where we place the number, we often call them cells, as in cell phone, C-E-L-L. Okay, you might be interested in that. We have 3 blocking across here, 3 blocking up here, 3 blocking down here, and 3 blocking across here. So just one cell available for our 3. We can place it there. Now we have 3 missing in 2 blocks, not 1. Now I said to you, if you've got 8 of these digits, you're okay. But look, here we have 7. We've got 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't have 8, we have 7. We have them missing in this block up here and this block down here. That's 2 blocks. Now, if they were only missing in 1, we could guarantee to get it, but not this case, because where they could go now is 3 blocking across here, so they could appear. They can't appear in these 2 squares. 3 blocking across here. So what you'll find is where 3s can go in these 4 squares like this. Now we don't know which one is 3. If we knew one of them, we could get the rest, but we don't. We could get the other one, I should say, but we don't. So we just have to forget that and come back to it at a later time. Like when on children's television, they used to say, here's one I completed earlier. But on this channel, we don't have one I completed earlier because I'm playing the game live and I have no idea of its actual solution until we get there. So I'm playing it at the same time as you are. 1 blocking across here, 1 blocking across here. This is a 1. Right, what's left to do? Okay, in the middle here we have 6 blocking up here and 6 blocking across here. So there's just 1 empty cell. 6 goes there. Okay, and now we do have, look, we have 8 6s. We have 6 in the top 3, 6 here, 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 and here. So only this block here is lacking a 6. And remember, if you're only lacking 1, you sure can get it. Here we have a 6 blocking across here, 1 white square, 6. Now we only 1 square missing either for this block, right, or for this column. Doesn't matter. It's going to be the same number. It has to be the same number. Otherwise, the puzzle won't work. So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or you could have said, let me erase it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There you go, just to prove that it's true. Okay, now this row across here is lacking 1 digit. It's a 7. And then the 7 blocks down here, meaning this square here has to be a 7. Now we're just one number missing from here. If you count through, you'll find it's a 4. I don't need to count through quite so much because just from having played the game so often. This 4 blocks this square here, so we know that 4 is in here, and we just have one number to complete this block here, which is a 9. Now here in this column we have one number missing. The missing number is a 4. Let's put it in, and up here there's either from this column or from this block, whichever way you look at it, the number will be 7. Okay. Right, so we're almost, look, we're, 80% done or something, or 75% or something, but we are doing quite well, aren't we? Not many more numbers to go. You've got solid images of the pictures in the jigsaw now, right? So now if you're in easy games like this, that means we're almost done. But if you're playing the more difficult levels, which I hope you will progress to, it doesn't necessarily hold true. You might not have done yet. Let me show you once more about the kind of forward thinking type thing. Okay, I want you to pay attention to this. So let's look at the 9s right now. We have a 9 blocking down here and a 9 blocking down here. So what do we know in this block? We know that 9 appears in one of these two squares. Do we have anything up here to tell us which it is? No, we don't. But that's okay. We know it's in one of these two squares, so we know that it can't be anywhere else in this row, so it blocks across here. And now we have a 9 blocking from up on the high, and so we know there's just one available slot for the 9 there. We still can't get these ones over here, but they helped us to find this digit here. Okay. Now here's another interesting thing as well. Now look, there are 3 missing numbers here. Okay, what we don't have is 3, 7, and 8. That's the numbers we need to complete this block. We have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9. So what we are missing are 3, 7, and 8. So when we look at this square here, what we notice is that the 3 and the 7 are in the same row. So can this square be 3? No. Can this square be 7? No. So if it's not 3 and it's not 7, then it has to be 8 because that was one of the missing 3 numbers from here, right? Okay. Now that means we are missing now 3 and 7 for these two squares. We can see a 7 blocking here. So 7 goes there and 3 goes here. That 3 blocks up here, 3 blocks across here. We can place a 3 just there. For this column, we still don't have a 1, so let's put it in there, and then 1 blocking across here, 1 blocking up here. That's a 1 that goes there. 1 blocking down here, and across here. We now can complete the ones. So we've already got 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. The numbers we're still looking for are 4, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, we're missing a 4 up here. Let's put that in. And we're also missing a 4 for this row across here. The last number, 4, goes there. Then we have 4 blocking up here, 4 across here, so 4 is in that square there. And now we only need one more 4 to finish all of the 4s. We've got, as I said, 4s everywhere else, right? So we can say 4 blocking up here, 4 blocking up here. That's now complete. So all we have to get now is 7, 8, and 9. I see 8 and 9 here, so I know this is going to be a 7 without even having to look across and count through. Now there's one digit missing down here. It's going to be an 8. If you count through that, you'll find that's what it is. And the missing number here is a 7 for this row. Right, we have one digit missing across here. It's got to be 7, 8, or 9. Well, I can easily see the 7 and 8, so I know this must be a 9 because we're only missing 7, 8s, and 9s, nothing else. 9 blocks up here, so this will be a 9. 9 is now done. All we need are 7 and 8. I've got a 7 here. This has to be an 8. 8 blocks down here, so 8 is now finished. The last number we need is a 7. And there you are. You've played your first ever game of Sudoku, or maybe your second or third ever game, but hopefully you are understanding more and more about the game all the time. It's great. It's good puzzle for logic. Help keep your brain moving, stimulated if you're getting on like me. And even if you're not, and if you're young and learning, maybe children, teach your children, how to play it. You often find that when you teach other people how to do something, you learn a lot yourself as well. So there you go. There's a technique for learning more Sudoku. Teach somebody else. Okay, bye bye.